Okay. Go ahead up the hill. Hilton Lakes trailhead. Off we go. Rock Creek Lake and the Rock Creek Road. The aspen trees turn color and the Hilton Lakes Trail. Some of the aspen trees turning color. Great time of year, October. Gets the leaves turning. Track, compacted soil with a few rocks, but basically a magnificent trail. Not too steep, so it's pretty easy plodding. October 9th, 2018. Up the Hilton Lakes. We're up a little higher and all these aspen trees are pretty well burned off. All toasted. We're in an area now with quite a few dead trees. I'm not sure why this would be. Drought, perhaps. I think they're pine trees just like the ones that are still living. But quite noticeable in this patch. Time for rest. The track so far has been quite comfortable, not too steep. We're on our way up to Hilton Lakes. We'll probably camp at lake number 2, I think it is. And set up our tent there, and the next couple of days just explore different tracks from there. But I think Hilton Lakes are close enough to be just a dang good day trip. In and out, about 4 hours in, and 3.5 out, perhaps a bit more downhill going out. But it's turned warm. Time to strip down. It's a hot, beautiful day here. Sure we'll get above the aspens soon. Maybe a few days late, that they're already past their prime. Right in the John Muir Wilderness. He was quite a guy, I tell you, John Muir. Pretty easy going track so far. A little bit of snow from the recent snowfall. We got caught in that snowstorm on Kearsarge Pass the other day. Not too steep of a climb. I think the climb is yet to come. And there's some beautiful pine forest now above the aspen trees. Past the highest point, a little under 10.5, and now we're on a descent down to the lakes. We came to this sign that says Davis Lake, and we knew Davis Lake is a little further beyond the second lake. And there's a branch in the trail, which logically, to us anyway, new players in this game, thought it would take us to Second Lake. Well, after walking a quarter mile down there, we certainly weren't coming to the Second Lake, and was this designated stock camping area. So it looks like if we're trying to get to Second Lake, we head to Davis Lake. Keep on this right-hand branch of the track. We'll find out anyway. So we're on the way towards Davis Lake. We'll see if we bump into number 2 Hilton Lake on the way. In through some denser forest. To get to the Davis Lake sign, we were just a little over 2 hours. But we wasted a half hour going the other way. We sat in the rock and had lunch down by a little stream before we came back up to this junction, and pushing on towards Davis Lake, we see what we come to. Early in the day, so no panic whatsoever. Beautiful bush here, a little bit more substantial bush than on the southern side of the little hump we came over from Rock Creek Lake. It was a lovely track all the way, not too steep in any one place, and I think it's a little over 4 miles, and like I say, it just took us a little over 2 hours, so very comfortable pace along the way. Another little meadow beside the track. I guess maybe the stock come up and graze here in the wetter times of the year. I'm not sure what that mountain peak in the distance is, but it certainly stands out quite impressive. We've come across several left branches, but there's no sign of what they're taking you to. Perhaps just down to meadows, or whether the lake's down there, it's hard for us to tell, but we're keeping on the right hand side. I'm guessing we're heading towards Davis Lake, but it's almost trucked a mile with no lake. Oh, I see the lake through the trees now. I see the lake through the trees. Yep. Lo and behold, the lake. Rather impressive sight. Beautiful sandy beach, eh?
Lovely. Beautiful.
Boy, what a beautiful setting. We think this is the second Hilton Lake, just guessing from the shape of it, comparing it to the shape we see on the map. Lovely sandy beach along here, and lovely sandy bottom to the lake. So it'd be a fantastic place to go for a swim in the summer. Lovely warm spot right here, just bathing in the sun. Allie's just soaking it up.
My suntan.
All the pine trees right down to the edge of the lake here. I guess there are some designated camping areas on this side of the lake, but we might push on to Davis Lake to see what it looks like. And if we point ourselves back towards the track, we're heading northeast, which we'll do and take it to find Davis Lake. Quite a bit of snow left on the ground at the north end of the lake. Quite a little, pretty little spot here. All the seagrass growing. The stable. Ooh. We have a switchback. I think we might be winding our way down, hopefully, to Davis Lake. Well, this Davis Lake seemed to have disappeared. We've gone another couple miles north, and we drew out Allie's little hand-drawn map. The lake we were looking at, I think, was Davis Lake, and somehow we missed the second lake completely. Hopeless signposting, no guidance whatsoever. Whether we, down that stock campsite area, whether the lake was hidden in the trees down there. But anyway, we're going to have to hike back up an hour the other direction and find a campsite by Davis Lake, maybe right by that beach. No big deal, we saw a little bit more of the country, heading towards Tom's place, but no Davis Lake just yet. but we'll find it. Pretend you're going in my side maybe, or just coming out of my side and heading over, zipping up or something. Scrambled eggs for breakfast, if we're lucky enough that the gas cylinder holds out long enough to get the eggs cooked. A little bit of ice on the lake. This is Davis Lake at 8 o'clock in the morning. Absolutely shimmering. You see the reflection of that mountain peak in the lake. It's so clear in the lake. The only sound I hear is the creek running out of the end of the lake there. Dead calm. Not a sign of life. No ducks. No birds flying. That's the main track. That's the track we kept on to get to Davis Lake. There's no real obvious track in here, although we made that little cairn. But you do see the lake off in the distance, so all we had to do was turn our heads left. We would have seen that lake. We walked straight by it.
We found Second Lake.
Voila! Lo and behold, the second lake. It was visible from the track if you look really hard. How do we miss it? Nice little camp spot even with a fireplace.
Great big rock. I think
when we took that dead end track, I guess we should have just kept on going a little bit more. Wow, hey, there's that. Pretty impressive. Little shimmer on the lake, so we're not likely to get the reflection like Dace. It's a pretty shallow lake by the looks of it. And an island. We have an island. Second lake. What a mystery. Mystery solved. But you do see the lake off in the distance, so all we had to do was turn our heads. We would have seen that lake. We walked straight by it. Mystery is solved. I guess it's just our own incompetence. It's a pretty lake. Perhaps not as nice as Davis Lake, but at least we know it's there. The maps have it right.
funny that.
Hilton Second Lake. Finally unlost. We left our backpacks back at the junction. Good thing we did, because it's mostly up. It's a climb, no doubt about that. We're up about 10-2 now. Number 3 lake coming into view. Nice and glassy despite the breeze. Yes, the view is beautiful. Really is beautiful. Flat lake, despite the breeze. Look at that, eh? Hilton Lake 3. Looks like a fairly shallow lake. Usually if there are trout in the lake, you often A, see them swimming, or B, see little bubbles, rings of bubbles where they come up and trying to grab a bug floating on the surface. But this seems to be totally absent of fish. Was a good stiff up to number 3 lake, but looks like it's a good stiff down to number 4 lake. So what goes down has come up again somewhere along the line. I have a hunch we're nearing our destination, the 4th lake. Sure enough, there it is.
Wow.
Another wow factor. Another wow factor.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm disturbing your peace.
And right beneath that mountain peak, I don't know the name of it. I might look up when I get back to check out the map. But there's 4th lake. And there's fish in that lake. There's a little toddler over there. Don't know if you can see it. See a little bubble? There's a little tiny guy coming our way. Not exactly big enough to get excited about fishing.